Hello and welcome to For Book Lovers Only, where we talk about some amazing authors and the amazing books that they write. My name is Rob Brown, your host and chief book lover, and today we have a very interesting guest. He is a published author, but more importantly, he is the founder of the Texas Authors Incorporated. It is an organization in the Lone Star State that works with authors in a variety of different ways, and we're going to find out about all of them today. So please welcome to For Book Lovers Only, Alan Bourgeois. Alan, thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Good. You have been doing quite a bit of traveling lately. I know you flew from, was it Houston to Atlanta, and then yesterday you flew from Atlanta to be with us today.
Correct.
So what were you doing in Atlanta?
We were at the American Library Association Midwinter event. It was our second year being there, and it's one of the outreach programs we do for Texas authors.
What type of work does that organization do?
The American Library Association?
Yes.
They help make sure that librarians are up to date on the latest technology, what new books are out there from the major publishers and some small publishers as well, conferences just to keep them up to date on anything and everything related to the library system.
Oh, wow. And you said that, how often is that, twice a year? Or?
It is twice a year. They have a midwinter, which is a smaller conference, about 8,000 to 10,000 people, and then they have their annual event, which is in the summer, and that's usually about 25,000 to 30,000 people.
Oh, are you going to the annual event this summer?
I would love to, but it's very expensive.
Oh, I see. I see. And how long have you been going to this event for?
This is our second year, so we definitely plan on being there next year in Denver as well.
Great, great. Well, listen, we have a lot of material to cover today, but I wanted to start out by introducing you to our viewers and telling them a little bit about yourself and, you know, your work as a published author. Well,
I am a published author. I've been writing for over 30 years. I was actually writing when I was a little kid, but none of that got published. But from that, doing a variety of publishing types. I did traditional publishing, I've done small press publishing, and I've done independent publishing. And then, you know, getting those books all set up in the system and stuff like that. Then I also became a publisher. So I helped, God, what we do, 60 books in 5 years we published from people from all over the world, from India, China, Australia, Canada, and then the United States was pretty covered as well. So through all that process of not only being the writer, but also being a publisher, and seeing all those different things, and the changes constantly going on in the publishing world, led me then into the marketing aspect, because that was one thing that just was not being covered by writing groups and other organizations. So that led me to then create the Texas Authors, Texas Association of Authors.
And why is it that you think that marketing was not really covered by those types of groups?
I wish I understood that. I have not yet figured that one out. I think for the most part, it was all about getting the book written. All these different writing groups, whether you have your specialized romance writers association or the mystery writers or the country western writers or whatever type of genre you have, there's definitely a writers group out there. And the focus really for them, and I can understand wanting to keep it simple, was
right.
The process of writing. Getting the critiques, getting more information about building a better book. Unfortunately, it also then hurt the authors because they didn't have that marketing knowledge that they need nowadays. It may have been set 20, 30 years ago when a lot of organizations were created. You still went through the traditional. And that's just not the case anymore. So they haven't really updated themselves, which left a big void for the writing world. And so we've stepped in to fill it, at least for Texas authors, and we continue to grow immensely with just a lot of different projects and programs.
So when you started the Texas Authors Incorporated, when exactly did you start it?
We started Texas Association of Authors in 2011. In August, and then developed it into a nonprofit over the next year. It was amazing for us because in 2012 we had our first awards dinner on the book contest, which was actually in front of the Texas Book Festival, which is one of the largest in the country as far as book festivals go. And I told the winners right then and there, I said, in 1 year we will be inside that festival. We will have a booth, and we did.
So tell us a little bit more about specifically the type of work that the Texas Authors Incorporated does for Texas authors. So for instance, if I'm an author, I'm in Texas, I've written a book, and I found out about the Texas Authors Incorporated, what could you do for me as an author?
The biggest thing that we make sure our authors understand is that we don't sell your book. We are a marketing aspect. We help you learn how to better sell and market not only yourself, but your book. Okay? We open up channels of opportunities for you to be able to get out there and find the readers that you need. It doesn't matter if it's social media, different book festivals, even our authors marketing event, which is an annual event we do, where they can learn from the top-notch people in the industry how to market and sell themselves. Then we've also created book festivals. We have 4 of them throughout the state of Texas that we do, and we're always adding new ones on each year because Texas is so huge, and the variety of authors is just as huge. We estimate there's about 8,400 published Texas authors. The only other state that beats us, and barely beats us, is California. So with that variety, we want to make sure that we have all those different types of programs out there so they can learn how to better market and sell themselves. A good example is the Library Journal has a program called the Selfie program, which gets their independent authors' books into the library system. If it's chosen as a good quality book, it gets a review by the Library Journal, which has been around for over 50 years. And they have really high standards for review. But if you get that review, then it goes into their national database. So not only do you get your local state database, but then you get your national database. And that can be very important for an author. I mean, great exposure to get into the libraries, and then people find out about that particular author, whether they have that one book or a dozen books or 2 dozen books. If they like that one book, they'll go and search for those other books and hopefully buy those books from bookstores and stuff.
That sounds like a tremendous resource for those authors.
It is, and that's just, like I said, one of the many things we do. This year we're real excited that we're working with the Texas legislature, getting exposure for authors, working with them in a lot of different organizations and different programs. We've actually been honored by both the Senate and the House this year, and so we're real excited about that. But again, that's just small little things that we do. We have the Dear Texas program, which is Drop Everything and Read Texas. Dear has been around for about 30 years, if not longer. But we did it with our own Texas twist. If you know anything about Texans, we like to add a little twist to it that makes it more ours.
Absolutely.
But it's an annual event that we do every year where we get authors into bookstores, grocery stores, restaurants, anywhere we can, schools, libraries, one weekend every year in April, all across Texas, and we promote them, and it's a great way for them to find more readers. It's a great way for sharing information and just getting the word out there. Forgive me, but we do so much that sometimes I get overwhelmed thinking about all this stuff.
Well, it sounds like you all are providing a lot of resources for the authors in Texas. Of particular interest to me is the type of help that you can give a self-published author as opposed to a traditionally published author. Is there a difference, or do they all find that your organization is beneficial to them? Or
everybody finds us beneficial, and we look at it 2 ways. One, from the traditional publishers, even if it's a big house or a small house, they love us because we're giving that extra marketing they no longer do. Okay, and every author, no matter how you're published, needs to be out there marketing and sell your book. A lot of times now, even if you're known and you go to a traditional big 5 publishing house, they still want to know, well, what's your marketing plan? What's your programs? How are you going to be out there promoting your book? They just don't do it anymore like they used to. You have to learn that. And there are a lot of things out there that can be confusing. A lot of programs that just don't work. And that's something we do as well. We look at every program that's out there. We test it. And we then tell the membership, don't waste your time. This doesn't work. Or yes, do this immediately. Hurry up. Right. Things like that, which helps keep those particular members one step ahead of everybody else. And that does help a lot. We enjoy working with other states when we can to help them get set up. They're never going to be as good as us because they don't have me. And, you know, I know that's a little bit of an ego thing, but I constantly am changing things, adding things, updating things, looking at new ways, whatever I can to help the authors.
Now, you had mentioned earlier that the traditional publishing companies just don't offer those types of resources to their authors anymore. Is that something that is just like an industry change, like publishing companies did, but for whatever reason they stopped? And if so, why did they stop?
Finances. That's what it boils down to. Because of the changing world in the industry, anybody can get a book published, no matter if it's good or bad. So that does eat away at the profits of the big fives. So they've gotten very specific on how they take books on. And because of that, they really keep it to a short shelf time. You're lucky if you get 6 weeks shelf time these days. So that short period of time is also a small point of marketing. Once that's done, you're on your own. So it doesn't matter who you are, you need to continue to be out there and promoting yourself. The only way around that is if you're James Patterson or Stephen King or Anne Rice or any of those big names that have been around for a while. Then you don't have to market yourself because you already have a built-in audience. But anybody coming to the publishing world this day, you don't have that much of an audience. You need to continue to be out there and promoting it.
What is your unique view with regards to, let's say, book signings, doing that type of thing for the authors in the bookstores? Do you find that the authors are saying that that's helpful to their book sales, or is there some sort of frustration there? Or?
It's both.
Both.
And it really comes back to the author. Okay, many authors are of the belief that when they schedule, say like at Barnes & Noble, okay, they've gone in, they've talked to the person there, the customer rep, and they've set up a book signing, and they think Barnes & Noble is going to be out there really promoting them. And that's not the case. And it doesn't even matter if it's them or a smaller bookstore. You still have to be out there marketing your event and drawing the people in. Because that's what Barnes & Noble and all the other stores want. You drawing people in so that they not only buy the book from you and they can make money from you, but then hopefully somebody there will buy a book that's on the shelf so they can make more money. So they really count on you to be able to promote yourself and the event that you're at. Unfortunately, because people think that Barnes & Noble or the store is doing the promotion, that they're going to have lots of people at their table and they're going to be signing a whole bunch of books, and then when they're sitting there all by themselves, they're saying, well, what happened? What didn't work?
Right.
And that's a major problem. And it's really a shame, too, because then the author is thinking, well, Barnes & Noble screwed me because we did this, but yet they didn't promote it, and they should have. And it's constantly changing, and that's one of those issues.
Now, do you think it's the source of confusion is more that Barnes & Noble or any bookstore for that matter is not being clear with regards to their role above and beyond just providing a venue, or is it the authors not asking enough questions? Because it seems like there's somewhat of a disconnect there.
There definitely is a disconnect, and I would say it's on both sides. Definitely Barnes & Noble not always communicating with the independent author what they need to be doing. One, they just don't feel they have the time or the need to do that. That they are so busy with all the other authors that are trying to get in there to do book signings that they just don't spend the time with the author. And the author is uneducated. They just don't understand what is required for them to be able to do a good book signing. And I need to be clear on something too. It's not just the book signing being there, it's also the author being interactive with the people who are there. So many authors will sit behind a table and smile and wait and not interact with the customers that are going by. I've seen book festivals where they have the candy on the table, as a draw for people to stop and stuff. That really doesn't work. It's like grab a candy and they keep walking. I've seen many authors go to book festivals and they'll be sitting there on their phone, or they'll be on iPad or whatever it is. They're not paying attention. You have to be interactive with those people, not just sitting there, but you have to be standing up. You have to be talking to people. You have to be interactive without being offensive. And those are the things that we help teach them and show them how to do that stuff. Videos is a good example. We have our YouTube channel, txauthors.com on YouTube, where we just have authors just briefly saying, why do I write? And giving that explanation. Granted, a lot of the same feelings are shown throughout,
Right.
but once in a while you'll hear somebody say something unique and different, which is kind of nice. But anything we can do to help create a way for them to get the exposure is what we're about.
And what about the types of resources? I don't even know if you have this or not, but the types of resources and things that you do for people who are potential authors who come to you and say, Alan, you know, I've seen the Texas Authors Incorporated. I see the great things that you're doing for authors. You know, I want to write a book. Can you help me even to start the process of even writing a book? Do you provide those resources?
Yes, to a certain limit. What we do is first find out where they're at. Then if we know of the writers groups within that area that fit them, we send them to them. That's the best thing we can do for them, is get them into that writers group so that they can get through that process of getting the book made. Once it's ready, or about 6 months before publication, we tell them to come back to us, and then we can help you with the next step, which is that marketing. Getting ready for that production, getting the book ready for sales, getting those pre-sales, all that information that has to go on before you actually release your book. And there's a lot of stuff out there that people just don't know about. So we work with them at that point. And then we help them after that, for years after that. If they enjoy what they get from us, they stick around, and continue to grow with us.
Right. So you basically educate them about, copyrights, getting their ISBN, pretty much the whole nine.
Right. In our members only section on our website at txauthors.com, we have, I think, 50 articles all relating to publishing. The IRS, what social media group works for you for what type of book you're writing. Just, God, I think everything's covered in there.
So now you have the Texas Authors Incorporated, and you also have the Book Festival Network. Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. That's one of my ideas that I've created. Book festivals are a great way for people to meet each other, the author, the readers, and interact. But unfortunately, they've become very expensive. Okay, I'll use Texas Book Festival as a good example. To have a booth there is approximately $1,900, just a 10 by 10 space. Authors can't afford that, so they have to share the space and stuff. Chances are you're not going to sell enough books during the event to warrant that cost. So the authors, especially the indies, are very frustrated with that. So what we've chosen to do is, in our book festivals that we've created, and we plan on expanding this nationwide, is to go in and do what we call a netcasting, which is a live broadcast of the entire book festival on the internet. Then, once the event is over, go back, edit all these different authors that we've talked to. We've gone up, we've interviewed them live on the net, gotten information. Then we take that information and put it up on the website for afterwards, so that the book festival continues to live on. Okay? There are a lot of people who would love to go to a book festival but can't because of work. Well, now this is their opportunity to actually have that interaction, whether it be virtual reality or just simple watching at the screen. So they can learn about the author, learn about the books. And on our website, we actually put other videos up, book trailers, interviews, whatever we have of that author, we put it up on the site as well before the event so that they can learn about the person as well. So you've got your bio page, you've got at least 4 books, if they printed that many books, a minimum of 4 books listed on the website, sample chapters, where they can buy them, the picture of the author, then the videos, and then the live chats. Everything you can think of relating to a book festival will be there, and it will be there for at least a year, 3 months, no less than 3 months before the event, and then 9 months after the event. So that it continues to grow and continues to be of value, not only to the author as far as the SEO and the website information, but then also to the book festival organization.
Right.
Their sponsors want to make sure they get their money's worth out of that event. Now they can increase that by an additional 9 months or 12 months or whatever that particular situation is. So now they get to grow and become something that can become also interactive down the road.
Right.
Because when somebody comes in and says, okay, I'm going to sign up for this book festival so I can get the information and stuff, then the book festival organizers can come back to them and say, you're here, we'd like to offer you a $10 coupon for purchasing this person's book. Or you happen to check this person out. He's got a new book or she's got a new book coming out. We'd like to give you a sample copy or let you preview it or whatever. So it's an ongoing process that now makes the book festivals more valuable without increasing the cost, and also increases their income because of the sponsors are now happier to have larger presence.
What a phenomenal idea. So basically the book festival in a lot of ways lives on in perpetuity, you know, past the initial event. That's amazing. Now, you also had mentioned just now about the book trailers. I'm particularly interested in that because you had introduced me to a gentleman, Josh, of Front Rows Productions, who does amazing book trailers. Tell us a little bit about how book trailers are affecting the industry with regards to marketing and selling of books.
It's just an additional tool. It's not a major tool, but an additional tool. You have, for example, on Amazon, people can read a snippet of the book. Okay? On our website, they can actually read a full chapter. And it doesn't matter what chapter it is. Well, I should rephrase that. The author is the one who chooses the chapter the reader gets to read. Okay? So you get that, but then you can also have the video on the website too. So if you're not really sure by the synopsis, if you want to read the book, you can at least watch the video and get a better sense. And that's really what it does. It allows people of different types to be able to explore a book. YouTube is a wonderful channel to have, and it gives you that opportunity to reach a new type of client, those that are more visually stimulated,
right,
through that. So it's just, again, one of those extra tools that are out there that we encourage people to use so that they have that exposure on a different website, a different way, and a different audience.
So tell us a little bit about the event that's going to be taking place in July, the author marketing event. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's our second year. We're really excited about this. And again, it's one of those things that has grown and changed as I think about these things. But it is a full weekend where authors from around the country can come in, sit there, spend $250 on the registration fee, and then $69 a night for the hotel, which is really a great rate.
That's really good.
About
exactly.
But they get to interact with other authors and then talk to top professionals who have been doing this professionally, all the different types of marketing. You will be there, so you'll be talking about videos. We have people who've been doing TV and radio interviews. We'll be talking to people who are really good at the single 12-second elevator pitch. You know, they can really help you refine that. I will be giving my award-winning session, which is Marketing 101 Renegade Style. I won an award last year for it. So thinking outside the box, again, those different approaches. We will have, hopefully, well, I can't really announce. We'll have a couple big companies that I met over the weekend attending once they're confirmed. But again, it's a weekend where people can just come and learn and be better at what they do so that they're not stressing out about their book sales. They can find new ways to be interactive and new ways to present their books. And that's just so critical. And a lot of people, especially authors, don't want to be out there promoting themselves, but they know they have to. So we help them find ways that work best for them.
Right.
And then that way they have the tools, they're not scared of it, they're a lot more relaxed about it, and they find that they can actually present their book to somebody that they meet at a grocery store. Or here's a good example. We've created bumper stickers. It says you can find my book at txauthors.com. Simple little thing that actually works. People have stopped me at a gas station and say, hey, you're an author. Well, what do you write? There's an opportunity for sales. Yeah. So it's those type of things that we can think of and help other people think of new ways to do it and stuff.
Now, I like the fact that your organization is called Texas Authors Incorporated, but you're providing resources for authors all around the country and probably for the world for that matter. Now, have you had people in other states that said, hey, I'd like to start something similar in my state? Is there any information or advice that you can help me kind of start an organization like that in my state?
Yes, and we've had that happen over the last year. And actually, it was kind of neat this weekend at ALA, meeting some new people I've never met before, and they go, "Oh, I've heard about you guys." It's like, cool, you know, it means we are getting out there. But yes, anybody who would like to start an organization in their state, all they have to do is reach out to me at txauthors.com. The email is txauthors.com, excuse me, txauthors@live.com. They can email me, and I will be more than glad to help them along the way. I'll even come out to their state and sit down with the board and help them think of the way that works best for their state.
Right.
Because each state is so unique and so different that you have to think of different ways of approaching things.
So it sounds like you've got so much going on. Is there anything else while we have you here in the studio that we need to know about, or that the viewers need to know about?
Oh, God, there's so much. We have created the only museum in the country that's dedicated to a state's authors group. Currently, it's all online. We've gone back over the last 200 years and adding authors from that time period, and we're now saving money and trying to raise the funds to buy those first editions that are out there. We're working with the state legislature to actually build a location to house it depends on who you talk to. There's anywhere from a minimum of 250,000 to 1 million books published by Texas authors. So
wow.
We need a huge spot to build and to house that information and stuff. As a matter of fact, at ALA, I definitely talked to a lot of publishers that didn't know about that and have already started emailing me the information about those books that they've published, and will be shipping books to us and stuff. So my poor apartment's kind of outgrown. But I mean, for us, we're always adding things. So I mean, definitely check us out and feel free to reach out to me. I'll be glad to help.
Okay, and I just want to make sure that our viewers have your contact information. So the website is
txauthors@live.com is the email address. txauthors.com is our website. For the book festival, it's bookfestival.network, spelled out Network. And you can see all the different types of book festivals that are signed up and what we're doing with them and stuff to get a better idea. But those are the two good websites to reach me at.
And the author marketing event is in Houston,
July 28th through the 30th at the Sheraton North Hotel, or excuse me, Marriott North Hotel. That kind of hit me if I said that wrong. But it's, yeah, for $250 registration fee, then $69 for the night, includes your one dinner, plus all the events, and an opportunity to actually win a chance with you to sit down and
Absolutely.
get a TV interview. So.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to being there and meeting some new authors and seeing you again. Alan, thank you so much for coming here and sharing information about the Texas authors and the networks and just everything that you've got going on down there. We look forward to learning more and to collaborating with you and to introducing you to more book readers and book lovers. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And thank you for tuning in here for Book Lovers Only. If you want to learn more about Alan and the Texas Authors Incorporated, go to www.txauthors.com. If you want to learn more about what we're doing here for Book Lovers Only, please visit us at www.forbookloversonly.com. Get on our mailing list and join our Book Lovers Club. We'd love to have you. Also, make sure you go to Village Connector at www.villageconnector.com. They've got a plethora of resources in the way of health and wellness, in the way of community economics, business development, personal development. You definitely want to make sure that you join there as well. Once again, thank you so much for joining in. We look forward to seeing you again. My name is Rob Brown, your host and chief book lover. And remember, if you love books, we have a home for you. Take care.